Hey there everyone, this is Cypher. Welcome back to my playthrough of Etrian Odyssey 3, and in this part we are going to start exploration of the 5th Stratum. But first, before I do that, I'm going to clean off the rest of the 4th Stratum off screen. It won't take that long, and I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Alright, here's the 16th floor, all nice, cleaned, and polished. Let's go on and start the exploration of the 5th Stratum, shall we? The 5th Stratum is containments of the 17th floor to the 20th floor. It contains many enemies of the previous Etrian Odyssey 1st Stratums of the previous Etrian Odysseys. It was a little redundant, but you know. Anyways, there are a few shortcuts around here that I know exist, so I'm gonna be hanging around and seeing if I can remember where they are. I think it's right here. Yeah, this will lead straight to the exit whenever we get over there, so that's nice to know the location of. And we'll just move all the way down around. Let's clean that up, because that looks fugly. One exception. This is the one time where I will actually color the stairs in as if it's surrounded by everything else that's around it, unlike traditional stairs. Meet the tree rat. The tree rat is weak to ice and slam, and is not that hard. He only uses basic attacks, and he's not that hard. Seriously, there should be no problems here. I feel a little disappointed if you can't deal with tree rats after you beat Shin, but unless, of course, your team is half dead, and hence why I ran. But no, the tree rats are not hard. They're just like in EO1, all the way back to the first floor in EO1. And remember that? No, probably may not play that game. But anyways, in the first stratum of the first game, tree rats exist, and there's not too much different in this game either. Later on they'll appear in mass quantities, but right now they're just kind of pointless. Meet the rotten fruit. It is almost exactly like the green durian we met all the way back down. Except he has a new trick up his sleeve. He has an attack that will lower your volt resistance and leg bind you, which is going to be more, which doesn't sound threatening now, but it's going to be a huge threat later on. And he's really annoying. He retains the same weakness of ice, so it's not too big of a deal. And yeah, here's what he does. He lowers volt resistance and he leg binds people. It's annoying, to say the least. And it's really only inconvenient if he leg binds somebody important who has to use their legs, which is usually not the case. Legs are one of the least used things. And they drop crab apples, which are preferred from the take points of the previous stratum, and dawn thorns, which sell for decent, so yay! More free stuff. And that does this. Awesome, now let's move on. I'm gonna try to keep these short and sweet so that it's only covering small bits of the labyrinth, and I don't want to, unlike the 4th stratum, I really like the serenity of this, and it's gonna have even more gimmicks per floor, so I don't want to cram 10 million gimmicks in the same video, so I'm gonna lighten the load a little bit. That's a dead end. So over this way is an introduction okay, whenever you see this door is when you know that you're about to just lose all sense of knowing where you are, and meet the Raging Boar. He's no threat at all. He eats biscuits, and I don't know what he's weak to, because I always instant kill him before I get the chance to do anything. He drops Beaskin and Iron Fangs. We'll get to that later. But anyways, yeah. I recommend actually mapping the door before you entering it, and when you get in it, you will lose radar, which is essentially saying that your character will be wiped from the map and the auto-map turns off automatically. Well, in this case, it's just going 4 spaces. However, if you're playing on an emulator like I am, this is going to be the trippiest part of the game. However, if you play this on the DS, this feels a lot less threatening on the DS for some reason. It's probably because you have better spatial reasoning when you're using your DS than when you're playing on an emulator. But seriously, this feels kind of disengaging, because it is. And these rooms will drive you crazy by the time you're done with it, because really, the dropping of the radar seems to turn a lot of people off. I usually have no problems with it, so I'll have no problem with it later. It also pops up later in the 6th stratum, whenever we get there, so it's also not, I just don't find the lack of radar rooms to be a big deal, like most people seem to have. It's because I have a better cognitive memory when it comes to being invisible. Like, I used to be able to like in any game that would usually require a map, I could usually get through without the map, even if I didn't know the game, because I would always memorize little landmarks. And that's what I do in this game too, is I memorize landmarks, like where intersections are and stuff like that, and that's a crevice we can't get into yet. So that's kind of how I have, it's just kind of a cognitive thing. If you are no good at being invisible, don't worry too much about this stratum, but 6th stratum is going to drive you a little crazy, just saying, because it combines the no radar rooms with pits, and it's just fun. Alright, now we ran into a set with 2 tree rats and 2 rotten fruits, now it's going to mix the 2 together. It's not that difficult. We'll just send out a binary ice and laugh at their faces, so. Oh yeah, and our weapons are starting to lose effectiveness. That's because we still haven't gotten new weapons from facing these chumps, so we'll get new weapons for our people soon enough. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, look, our weapons are doing 20 damage again. When was the last time they did that? Long time. So, we'll get new weapons from their stuff, eventually. Also, it's going to take more drops from the enemies to get new items, which is a trend of the Etrian Odysseys. Actually, I think the first Etrian Odyssey was merciless with how much items you needed just to get one new hand axe. It was just silly. This loops around, does, I think, that action. We'll get on the other side of it soon. For now, let's just keep going this way. Keep trucking along. And this just does a loop. Whoa. This just does a loop. It does this. Awesome. And then over here, we have a split between down and up. Though this isn't too much of a dead end, so no shortcuts, no events. And no, we are not going to go into no radar zone. As I said, you have to pay attention to the doors. Sometimes they have like little leaves on them, and sometimes they don't. Well, I mean, this is covered in leaves, but they don't have like the white leaves. That's what you're paying attention to, is if they have leaves or not. That's how you know when you're entering a no radar zone. Right now, we're about to enter a room with an FOE in it. This FOE is not encouraged to fight, and you're gonna know him too. He's also the first FOE. In EO1, he is the first FOE you run to on the 3rd floor. Anyways, he moves twice and then he pauses. He moves twice and then he pauses, so do something like this. Also, he memorized that he's horizontally oriented, and that's what makes him extremely easy, is that he's horizontally oriented. So let me just draw that. Does this. So he'll move twice, then he's gonna break. And I'm gonna run into a fight. Meet the Petaloid. The Petaloid isn't a threat. He is extremely subtle to the instant death status, and he gets your item upon being instant death, and he's just really easy. Otherwise, he's usually a pain in the fact that he'll put your team to sleep, which is no fun. Cough, 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 cough. As I just said, usually, but yes, he is extremely subtle to instant death, except he didn't die to instant death, but he is more subtle to instant death than most monsters. If you kill him with instant death, you can get his item, called the Dangerous, I think it's the Dangerous Bud. It might be the Hazard Bulb, I don't remember. Life Break, you leveled up. What am I getting? More parry! More parry. Who else needs a level? No one? No one? No one needs a level? Awesome. So once again, that's his second move. He's gonna stop. 1, 2, he's gonna stop so I can get in front of him. It's really easy to comprehend. 1, 2, where was it? There's a treasure passage that I remember that's around here somewhere. Here it is. Found it! That didn't take too long. And at the end of it is an intelligence book. Thank you. I'll use that on Zara, don't worry. Zara gonna get these books all the time. Really. And that leads us right to this door, and yeah, pretty basic room, FOE and everything. And that leads us to here. Once again, remember, my memory is not perfect, so if you know anything that I have not mentioned, or have failed to mention, or may have forgotten, do share. I've been harping on that a lot in the previous episodes, but I haven't said it in a while, so I'm gonna decided to say it again. This set doesn't look as dangerous as any of the previous ones, so just, you know, do basic stuff, get basic things. Binary Ice is gonna do mass damage to them, and Even though they have like 500-ish HP, it's not too big of a deal. It's not. Oh, Swashbuckling, you're so silly hitting multiple targets at once. Love that. Vincent leveled. Okay, Vincent, you are working on Strain Seeds, so get on it. Really late for him to be working on Strain Seeds, but you know. And let's see, what's this way? Things are this way. I think we have a shortcut about right here. Awesome. And you know what? I'm getting a little wrapped up on time, but I think we have enough time for this event, so let's check it out. You stop at a passage's dead end for a moment before heading back, taking a deep breath. The air you inhale is refreshing. Since a pine, you get to exceptionally clear. You may rest here and enjoy the fresh air, or not. Rest here, get 40 HP. So calming that you wonder if it would be so bad to rest here a little longer. Let's see what happens then. Since you know monsters, rest for a while. Now I get TP, that's awesome. Now you've stayed here for some time already, you think it might be good to remain. Rest even more. Okay, when are these monsters coming out? I'm fully relieved. Everyone could... If you stay here longer, though, it could adversely affect your explorations. You resolve to go. Well, that's insane. That's just a huge HP TP heal. Now I don't have to worry about resting at the inn tonight. Well, that's insane. Well, anyways. Hey guys, this has been LifeRick, and as always, I thank you for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and save and say bye now. I want to cover less material per episode now, just so, because the 5th Stratum is so complicated. But anyways, I'm gonna say bye now. Bye.